The large alien ship named Horizon Seeker moved quietly through space. It slowed down as it got closer to the blue planet. The ship was home to the Zoraxians, a race of tall, blue-skinned beings with 4 arms and large dark eyes. They were known, across the galaxy, as great scientists and explorers. Captain Vex stood on the bridge of his ship. He looked at the planet on the big screen in front of him. His second pair of hands typed on a control panel while his top hands held a data tablet. Earth, he said. The 3rd planet from the yellow star. Our scans show it is full of life. Science. Officer Lyra nodded. She was shorter than Vex, with lighter blue skin and a metal device around her head that helped her process information faster. Yes, Captain. This planet has thousands of species. Many of them seem dangerous. The planet has large areas of water where huge creatures swim. It has thick forests with animals that hunt and kill. It has wide grasslands where fast and strong beasts chase smaller ones. Vex smiled. The Zoraxians had visited many planets, but few had such rich life. Most worlds had simple plants or small animals. Earth was different. It was a planet where life had grown strong and varied. Our mission is clear, Vex told his crew. We must study the most dangerous creatures on this planet. The Galactic Council wants to know if any species here could be a threat if we make contact. The 20 Zoraxians on the bridge all nodded. They had done this kind of mission many times before. They would send down small teams to watch the planet's most deadly animals. They would record data and bring it back to their home world. I want 3 teams, Vex ordered. Team 1 will study the ocean creatures. Team 2 will look at the land hunters. Team 3 will check the flying animals. Do not let the native life forms see you. Use your cloaking technology at all times. Lyra started organizing the teams. She picked the best scientists for each group. The Zoraxians were excited. Earth looked like one of the most interesting planets they had ever found. On Earth, far below. The alien ship John Miller woke up in his small house near the woods. He was a forest ranger who lived alone with his dog, Max. John was 45 years old with a beard and strong hands from years of working outdoors. He got out of bed, made coffee, and looked out his window at the trees. Going to be a nice day, Max, he told the golden retriever who sat at his feet. Maybe we'll see some deer or even a bear today. John didn't know that visitors from another world were about to arrive. He didn't know that his simple life was going to change forever. After breakfast, John put on his Green Ranger uniform and his wide hat. He filled his water bottle and packed some food in his backpack. Then he and Max started walking into the forest. John had worked in these woods for 15 years. He knew every trail, every hill, and most of the animals. Come on, boy, he said to Max as they walked deeper into the trees. The morning sun made spots of light on the ground. Birds sang in the branches above. It seemed like a normal day. Meanwhile, the alien ship sent down 3 small round pods. Each pod carried 4 Zoraxian scientists and their equipment. The pods used special technology that made them invisible to human eyes and machines. Team 2, led by scientist Zorn, landed in the forest where John was working. Their pod touched down softly in a clearing. The door opened, and 4 blue aliens stepped out. They were wearing silver suits that covered their bodies. These suits could change color to match the surroundings, making the aliens hard to see. Scan the area, Zorn told his team. Find the most dangerous creatures in this region. The aliens used small hand devices to check for life forms. They found many small animals, some medium-sized deer, and a few larger creatures. There is a large animal 2 kilometers north, said Mila, one of the scientists. It shows high body, mass, and strong life signs. It might be a top predator. Zorn nodded. We will observe it. Move quietly. The 4 aliens walked through the forest. Their feet barely made a sound on the leaves and sticks. They passed near John's position, but he didn't see them because of their cloaking technology. Only Max noticed something strange. The dog stopped walking and growled softly. What is it, boy? John asked, looking around. He saw nothing unusual, just trees and bushes. Maybe you smelled a fox. Max kept growling. The aliens froze in place. Their scanners showed a human and a 4-legged animal nearby. Don't move, Zorn whispered to his team. The small creature seems to sense us despite our cloaking. They waited until John and Max walked away. Then they continued toward the large animal their scanners had found. After half an hour of careful movement, they reached another clearing. In it was a big brown bear digging for roots and insects. Excellent, Zorn said quietly. This creature appears to be an apex predator. See the strong limbs, sharp claws, and powerful jaws. It is well adapted for hunting and killing. The Zoraxians set up small floating cameras that looked like insects. These would record the bear's behavior. The aliens watched as the bear found a beehive and broke it open to eat the honey inside. Note its intelligence, Mila said. It knows where to find food and how to get it. It uses tools in a simple way. While Team 2 studied the bear, Teams 1 and 3 were doing similar work. Team 1 had found a group of sharks in the ocean. Team 3 was watching eagles hunt in the mountains. John and Max continued their patrol through the forest. The ranger checked trails, picked up trash left by hikers, and made notes about the plants and animals he saw. When noon came, he sat on a fallen log to eat his lunch. Max lay at his feet, still acting nervous. "You're jumpy today," John told the dog. "Maybe there's a storm coming." As he ate his sandwich, John heard a strange sound. It was like a soft humming that came and went. He stood up and looked around. The forest was quiet except for that odd noise. "Hello?" he called. "Anyone there?" No one answered, but the humming got a little louder. John decided to check it out. He put his lunch away and started walking toward the sound. Max followed, still growling low in his throat. The ranger pushed through some bushes and found himself in a clearing he hadn't seen before. At first it looked empty. Then the air seemed to shimmer, like heat rising from hot pavement. John blinked, and suddenly he saw it, a round metal object about the size of a small car. As he watched, a door opened in its side. "What on earth?" John whispered. A blue face with large dark eyes looked out at him. John froze. His heart beat fast. Max barked loudly. The alien and the human stared at each other for a long moment. Then more blue faces appeared at the door of the pod. Zorn spoke, in his own language, to his team. "Our mission is compromised. A native intelligent species has found us." John couldn't understand the words, but he knew this was first contact with beings from another world. His life, and all human life, would never be the same again. John Miller stood very still. His mind tried to understand what he was seeing. The blue creatures watching him were not from Earth. Their 4 arms and large dark eyes made that clear. They were aliens, visitors from another world. "Hello," John said softly. He raised one hand slowly to show he had no weapons. "My name is John." The aliens looked at each other. The tallest one stepped forward. This was Zorn, the leader of Team 2. He touched a small device on his chest. A light blinked on it. "Hello, Earth creature," Zorn said. His voice had a strange sound, like it was coming through water. "We can speak your language now. Our translator is working." Max barked again, but John put his hand on the dog's head to calm him. "You're not from here," John said. It was a simple thing to say, but he couldn't think of anything better. "We are Zoraxians," Zorn explained. "We come from a planet far from here. We are scientists. We study life on other worlds." John took a deep breath. "Why are you in these woods? What are you looking for?" The aliens shared glances again. Then Zorn answered, "We came to study the most dangerous creatures on your planet. We want to know which animals could be a threat." This made John smile a little. "You're looking for dangerous animals? Like the bear you were watching earlier?" Zorn seemed surprised. "You know about the large brown creature?" "Yes, it seems powerful. It has strong jaws and claws. Is it the most dangerous hunter in these woods?" John thought about this. Bears can be dangerous, but they usually leave people alone unless they feel threatened. There are mountain lions too, and wolves, but they rarely attack humans. The word humans made the aliens pay close attention. "Humans? This is what you call your species?" asked Mila, another of the Zoraxian scientists. "Yes, we're humans," John said. I'm a forest ranger. I protect these woods and the animals in them. This idea seemed to confuse the aliens. They talked among themselves in their own language, which sounded like music to John's ears. Finally, Zorn turned back to him. You protect the animals, but our scans show that humans build large settlements. You cut down forests, you change the land. Why would you protect what you destroy? The question hit John hard. It was true that humans did a lot of harm to nature, but it wasn't the whole story. Some of us try to save what's left, he explained. We know we've done damage, that's why rangers like me work to protect wild places. Zorn seemed interested. So your species is aware of its impact? This is unusual. Most developing species do not recognize their own destructive nature. While they talked, John noticed more aliens coming out of the woods. These must be the other teams Zorn had mentioned. They all looked similar with blue skin and 4 arms, but they wore different colored bands on their silver suits. A new alien stepped forward, taller than the rest. This was Captain Vex, who had come down from the ship when he heard that Team 2 had been discovered. I am the leader of this mission, Vex said. Our research has been interrupted, but perhaps this is a fortunate accident. We can learn directly from a human. John felt overwhelmed. There were now 12 aliens around him, all watching him with their large, dark eyes. Max stayed close to his legs, no longer barking, but still nervous. I'll answer your questions if I can, John offered. But I should tell you I'm just one person. I can't speak for all humans. Vex nodded. We understand, but any information will help our research. The aliens set up small floating devices that recorded everything. They sat in a circle with John in the clearing. For hours they asked him questions about Earth and humans. What are the most dangerous predators on your planet? Vex asked. John thought about it. In the water, probably sharks or killer whales. On land, maybe lions, tigers, or bears, depending on where you are. And are humans afraid of these creatures? Asked Lyra, who had come with Captain Vex. Yes, but mostly we stay away from them. We've built our cities where we're safe. The aliens took notes. Zorn asked, What about humans? Are you dangerous? John wasn't sure how to answer. We're not very strong compared to many animals. We can't run as fast as deer or lions. We don't have sharp teeth or claws, but we have these. He pointed to his head. Brains? Mila guessed. Yes, our scans show your species has large brain capacity. We make tools, John explained. We use our minds to solve problems. That's how we've survived. As the sun began to set, John realized he had spent the whole afternoon talking to aliens. It felt like a dream, but Max's presence reminded him it was real. I need to go home soon, he told the Zoraxians. It will be dark, and people might come looking for me if I don't return. Vex stood up. We have learned much from you, John Miller, but our research is not complete. There is more we need to know about humans. Will you come back to your ship now? John asked, wondering if the aliens would leave Earth. No, said Vex. We will continue our mission, but we must be more careful not to be seen by other humans. John had a sudden thought. What if I helped you? I know these woods. I know where animals live. I could show you things you might miss, on your own. The aliens talked among themselves again. They seemed to be debating John's offer. Finally, Vex turned to him. This would be valuable, but you must not tell other humans about us. Not yet. We are not ready for full contact with your species. John nodded. I won't tell anyone, but I have one condition. You have to promise not to harm any animals or people during your research. We are scientists, not hunters, Zorn assured him. We observe only. We do not interfere. Then we have a deal, John said, holding out his hand. Vex looked at the hand, then slowly reached out with his lower right arm. They shook hands, the first official agreement between a human and a Zoraxian. Return. To your home now, Vex told him. Come back to this same place tomorrow when the sun is high. We will meet you here. John nodded and called to Max. As they walked away, he looked back once. The clearing appeared empty again. The aliens had activated their cloaking technology. Come on, Max, he said to his dog. We've got a big day tomorrow. As he walked home, Through the darkening forest, John Miller knew his life had changed forever. He was now the first human ambassador to an alien race, a role he had never imagined for himself. And tomorrow, he would begin to show the Zoraxians what humans were, really capable of, both the good and the bad. The next day, John woke up early. He felt excited but also nervous. Had he really met aliens yesterday? It seemed so strange in the morning light, but Max's behavior convinced him it was real. The dog kept looking out the window, as if waiting for something. "We're going back, boy," John told Max as he packed his backpack. He put in more food than usual, a first aid kit, his camera, and a notebook. He wasn't sure what the aliens would want to see, but he wanted to be ready. At noon, John and Max reached the clearing where they had met the Zoraxians. At first it looked empty. Then the air shimmered and 3 aliens appeared. It was Zorn and 2 others from Team 2. "John Miller," Zorn greeted him. "You have returned as promised." John nodded. "I keep my promises." "Where are the others?" "Captain Vex and the rest are studying data on our ship," Zorn explained. "Today, we would like you to show us more of your world." John smiled. "What do you want to see first?" Mila, the female alien, spoke up. "We are interested in how humans live. Can you show us where you stay?" John thought about his small house at the edge of the forest. "I can show you my home, but we must be careful. If other people see you, they might be scared." The aliens activated their cloaking technology again. Now John couldn't see them, but he could hear their footsteps as they followed him through the woods. Max kept looking back, aware of the invisible visitors. When they reached John's house, the aliens turned off their cloaking. They looked around with great interest at the simple cabin. They touched the wooden walls, examined the windows, and studied the solar panels on the roof. "You live alone?" asked Zorn. "Just me and Max," John replied. "Many humans live in bigger groups in cities. I prefer the quiet." Inside, the aliens were fascinated by everything. They looked at John's books, his computer, his refrigerator, and his clothes. They asked questions about how things worked. "Your technology is interesting," said Mila. "It is less advanced than ours, but very creative." John made coffee and offered some to the aliens. They scanned it with their devices first, then took small sips. "This contains stimulants," Zorn noted. "Do humans need these to function?" John laughed. "No, but many of us enjoy it. It helps us wake up in the morning." After showing his home, John decided to take the aliens to see something important. He led them to his truck, a small electric vehicle he used for ranger work. "This is how I travel longer distances," he explained. "It runs on electricity from my solar panels." The aliens examined the truck with interest. John drove slowly down the forest road with the 3 Zoraxians hidden under their cloaking. Max sat in the passenger seat, watching the road ahead. After 20 minutes, they reached a spot where the trees ended suddenly. In front of them was a large area of bare land. Cut tree stumps stuck out of the ground like broken teeth. Heavy machines sat idle at the edge of the destruction. "What happened here?" asked Zorn, as the aliens turned off their cloaking to see better. "Logging," John said sadly. "Humans cut down these trees to make paper, furniture, and buildings. This area used to be beautiful forest, just like where we were before." The aliens walked across the open space, taking readings with their devices and talking quietly among themselves. "Your species destroys its own habitat," Mila observed. "This is common for developing worlds, but the scale is concerning." John nodded. "Many of us are trying to stop this, but it's difficult. Money and greed often win over protecting nature." Next, John drove them to a small stream that ran through the forest. Usually it was clear and full of fish. Today it ran brown with mud from the logging operation. "The machines damage the soil," John explained. "When it rains, dirt washes into the streams. It kills fish and plants that need clean water." The aliens took samples of the water. They seemed troubled by what they found. "There are many harmful substances here," Zorn said. "Not just soil, but chemicals from the machines. They will spread through your water system." As they continued their tour, John showed the aliens more signs of human impact. Trash left by hikers, a small area damaged by fire from a careless campfire, and plastic bottles floating in a pond. If humans are so intelligent, asked one of the aliens, why do you harm your own world? John thought about this. Not all humans understand the damage we do. Some don't care. Some care but feel helpless to change things. It's complicated. By late afternoon, they had seen many examples of both the beauty of Earth and the harm humans had caused. The aliens had been quiet for some time, processing what they had observed. I want to show you one more thing, John said. Something positive. He drove them to another part of the forest where a group of young trees grew in neat rows. Signs posted around the area explained that this was a reforestation project. 5 years ago, this area was logged, just like the place we saw earlier, John explained. Then rangers and volunteers planted new trees. In 30 years, this will be forest again. The aliens walked among the young trees. They seemed more hopeful now. Your species causes great harm, Zorn said, but some of you try to heal the damage. This is unusual. Most species only learn to protect their world after they have nearly destroyed it. As the sun began to set, John drove the aliens back to the clearing where their pod was hidden. They had seen much in one day, but he knew there was still more to show them. Tomorrow I can take you to see a city, John offered. You'll need to stay hidden, but you should see how most humans live. Zorn nodded. We would like that. Our research must be complete. As John and Max headed home, the ranger wondered what the aliens truly thought of humans now. They had seen both the destruction humans caused and their efforts to protect nature. Would they judge all humans by the harm some did? Or would they see the potential for good? He hoped the Zoraxians would understand that humans were complex, creatures capable of both terrible damage and wonderful kindness. Tomorrow would be another chance to show them the truth about the most dangerous, and perhaps the most promising species on Earth. The next morning, John called his boss at the ranger station. He said he needed a few days off for personal reasons. His boss agreed since John rarely took time off. With that done, John prepared for the trip to the city. He was nervous about taking aliens into a crowded place, even with their cloaking technology. When John and Max reached the clearing, all 12 Zoraxians were waiting. Captain Vex stepped forward. Our teams have shared their findings, Vex said. We are very interested in seeing this human city you mentioned, John nodded. We'll need to take my truck. It's about an hour's drive to Pine Ridge. It's a small city, but it will show you how most humans live. The aliens looked at John's small truck with doubt. We cannot all fit in your vehicle, Zorn pointed out. I have a solution, Vex said. He held up a small silver disc. This is a short-range transport device. It will allow us to follow your vehicle without being seen. John was impressed. Okay then, let's go. He drove slowly down the forest roads with Max beside him. In his rearview mirror, he could see a faint shimmer in the air as the alien's transport device followed his truck. When they reached the edge of Pine Ridge, John parked in a quiet area near a park. The alien's transport appeared beside his truck, then vanished as they activated their cloaking. Stay close to me, John whispered. And remember, no one can see you, but they can bump into you if you're in their way. John walked through the park with Max on a leash. He could hear the soft footsteps of the invisible aliens following him. He led them to a busy street where people were shopping, eating at outdoor cafes, and going about their daily lives. The aliens observed everything with great interest. John could hear their quiet comments as they studied the humans around them. They gather in large numbers, Vex noted. Their vehicles produce harmful emissions, another alien said. They spend much time looking at small devices in their hands, Mila observed. John smiled at this last comment. He led them to a coffee shop with outdoor seating. He bought a coffee and sat at a table, pretending to read something on his phone. In reality, he was talking quietly to the invisible aliens. Those small devices are phones, he explained. We use them to communicate, find information, and entertain ourselves. Your species seems very connected, Zorn said. Yet many humans sit alone, not talking to those around them. John nodded. It's complicated. We can talk to people far away, but sometimes we ignore those right next to us. After the coffee shop, John walked through the busiest parts of the city. He showed the aliens the stores where humans bought food, clothes, and other items. He pointed out schools, hospitals, and government buildings. When they passed a construction site where a forest had once been, the aliens became very quiet. Workers were cutting down the last few trees to make room for a new shopping center. This happens all over Earth, John admitted. We keep building, taking more land from nature. Vex's voice came from just behind John's shoulder. Your kind spreads, like a virus. The words stung, but John couldn't deny the truth in them. Humans did spread across the planet, changing everything they touched. Later, John took the aliens to a factory at the edge of town. From outside the fence, they could see smoke rising from tall chimneys. Trucks carried materials in and products out. This factory makes plastic goods, John explained. Things humans use every day. But the process creates pollution. The aliens use their devices to scan the air around the factory. There are many harmful particles here, Mila reported. They will damage the lungs of any creatures that breathe them. I know, John said sadly. Many factories are cleaner now than they used to be, but we still have a long way to go. As they continued their tour, a small group of people caught John's attention. They were standing on a street corner with signs that read "Save Our Planet" and "Stop Climate Change." They were handing out papers to people who passed by. John led the aliens closer to listen. We're destroying our only home, a young woman was saying to anyone who would listen. We need to change how we live before it's too late. Most people walked past without stopping. A few took the papers, but many didn't even look at the protesters. These humans understand the danger, Zorn observed. Why do others not listen? Change, is hard, John replied. Many humans don't want to give up their comfortable lives even if they know it hurts the planet. By late afternoon, the aliens had seen many aspects of human life. John took them to one final place before heading back, a small museum on the edge of town. Inside was an exhibit about Earth's climate and the changes humans had caused. The aliens stood invisibly in front of displays showing melting ice caps, rising sea levels, and forests turning to deserts. Your species knows it is causing harm to the entire planet, Vex said, his voice low and serious. Yet you continue. John felt defensive. Some of us are trying to change things. There are new laws to protect nature. People are developing cleaner energy and better ways to make things. But is it enough? Asked Mila. Our scans show your atmosphere is changing rapidly. Many species on your planet are dying out. John had no good answer. The truth was, he didn't know if humans would change in time to save Earth from the worst damage. As they walked back to the truck, all of them were quiet. The aliens had seen both the good and bad of human civilization in just one day. John wondered what they thought of humans now. When they reached the forest again, Vex asked John to stop at the clearing. The aliens turned off their cloaking. There, blue faces looked troubled. We have completed much of our research, Vex announced. Tomorrow we will make our final observations, then leave your planet. So soon? John asked, surprised. We have seen enough, Vex replied. We now understand which creatures on Earth are truly dangerous. John looked at the alien captain. And what have you decided? Vex's large eyes met John's. It is clear to us now. The most dangerous creatures on Earth are humans. The words hung in the air between them as the sun set through the trees. John wanted to argue, but he knew the alien was right. No bear or shark or wolf had ever caused as much destruction as his own species. Tomorrow, Vex continued, we would like you to show us one more thing. Hope. Show us why we should believe humans might change before it's too late. John nodded, slowly. I'll try. As he drove home with Max, John thought hard about where he could take the aliens on their final day. What could he show them that would prove humans weren't just destroyers? What could make them see that Earth still had a chance as long as people like him kept fighting for it? The answer came to him just as he reached his cabin. He knew exactly where to take them for their final day on Earth. John woke up early on the final day. He had spent the night planning where to take the aliens. He needed to show them that not all humans were destructive. He needed to give them hope for Earth's future. After breakfast, he drove to the clearing with Max. The aliens were already waiting. They had brought all their equipment with them. Their silver pod sat in the open now, no longer hidden. "Today is our last day on your planet," Captain Vex announced. "We will leave when your sun sets. What do you wish to show us?" John smiled. "Something special. We need to drive for about 2 hours to reach it." The aliens followed in their transport device as John drove out of the forest and onto the highway. They traveled east, leaving the mountains behind. The land became flatter, with wide open fields on both sides of the road. After 2 hours, John turned onto a smaller road. A large, sign read Green Valley Renewable Energy Center. "What is this place?" Zoran asked as the aliens made themselves visible again. "One of the largest solar farms in the region," John explained, "and part of something much bigger." They parked near the entrance. A woman with curly hair and glasses approached them. This was Karen, the center's director and John's old friend. From college, he had called her last night to arrange the visit. "John, good to see you," Karen said, hugging him. Then she saw the blue aliens and stopped in shock. "It's okay," John assured her. "They're friendly. They're scientists from another world." Karen's scientific curiosity quickly overcame her fear. "Actual aliens? This is incredible. John told me he was bringing important visitors, but I never imagined this." Captain Vex stepped forward. "We appreciate your welcome. We are here to learn." Karen led them through the solar farm. Hundreds of black panels stretched across the fields, all facing the sun. Workers in safety vests checked the equipment and cleaned the panels. "This facility generates enough clean electricity to power 50,000 homes," Karen explained. "No pollution, no damage to the land." The aliens scanned the panels with their devices. "Efficient solar collection," Mila noted, "but still very basic compared to what is possible." Karen smiled. "We're learning. 10 years ago, this technology was twice as expensive and half as efficient. We're improving all the time." After the solar farm, Karen took them to see wind turbines on a nearby hill. The huge white towers turned slowly in the breeze, generating more clean power. "These are just the beginning," Karen said. "Let me show you the real project." They drove to a large building at the center of the complex. Inside, screens covered the walls, showing data from around the world. People worked at computers, monitoring systems. "This is our control center," Karen explained. "We're part of the Global Restoration Network. There are centers like this in every country now." She pointed to a large world map on the main screen. Green dots covered much of it, with new ones appearing as they watched. "Each green dot is a restoration project," Karen said. "Forest being replanted, coral reefs being rebuilt, pollution being cleaned up. 5 years ago, there were only a few hundred projects. Now there are thousands." The aliens moved closer to the screens, their large eyes reflecting the data. "Your species is trying to undo the damage," Zorn observed. "Yes," Karen said. "More and more humans understand what's at stake. We're changing. Not fast enough yet, but we're gaining momentum." She showed them more data. Carbon emissions starting to drop after years of increase, plastic production declining as new materials were developed, endangered species beginning to recover in protected areas. "The most exciting part is this," Karen said, leading them to another room. Inside were young people, mostly in their teens and 20s, working on projects and learning from instructors. "This is our education center," Karen explained. "We train the next generation of environmental scientists, engineers, and activists. These young people will continue the work we've started." A girl about 12 years old approached them. She looked surprised by the aliens, but not afraid. "Are you from another planet?" she asked directly. Captain Vex nodded. "We are. We came to study Earth's dangerous creatures." The girl smiled. "Did you see sharks and bears?" "Yes," Vex replied. "And humans." The girl's smile faded a little. "My teacher says humans have been the most dangerous animals on Earth. We've heard a lot of things." "This seems true," Vex agreed. The girl stood straighter. "But we're trying to fix it. I'm learning how to grow coral to rebuild reefs. My brother is working on machines that clean plastic from the ocean. We're not going to keep making the same mistakes. John watched the exchange with hope in his heart. This was exactly what he wanted the aliens to see, the determination of young humans to change the future. As the day went on, Karen showed them more projects, laboratories growing meat without animals, factories being converted to zero waste, facilities and machines capturing carbon from the air. By late afternoon, they had seen dozens of examples of humans working to heal the planet. As they prepared to leave, Captain Vex seemed deep in thought. Finally, he spoke. "We came to your world to identify its most dangerous creatures," he said. "We have confirmed that humans hold that title. Your species has caused more damage to Earth than any natural predator ever could." John's heart sank. After everything they had seen today, the aliens still saw humans only as destroyers. But Vex continued, "However, you have shown us something we have rarely observed on other worlds, a species that recognizes its own destructive nature and actively works to change. This is unusual." The captain turned to look at the education center, where the young people were still working on their projects. "Most species that follow your development path destroy themselves," Vex explained. "They use up their resources, poison their planet, and collapse. But a very few, manage to change direction in time. It seems humans are trying to join that rare group." John felt a small spark of pride. "We have a long way to go. We've done a lot of damage, but more of us are waking up every day, especially the young ones." As the sun began to set, they returned to the forest clearing where the alien pod waited. It was time for the Zoraxians to leave. "What will you tell your people about humans?" John asked, as the aliens prepared their ship. Captain Vex's large eyes met John's. "I will tell them that Earth's most dangerous creatures are also its greatest hope, that humans have the power to destroy their world, but also the wisdom to save it, if they choose to use it." Zorn stepped forward. "We will recommend that your planet be placed under protected observation status. No official contact for 50 of your years. By then we will know if your species has chosen wisdom or destruction." The aliens said goodbye to John and Max. Before entering their pod, Captain Vex handed John a small silver device. "This contains information that may help your scientists develop better renewable energy," the captain said. "Consider it a vote of confidence in humanity's future." John watched as the Zoraxians entered their pod. The door closed, and the small craft rose silently into the darkening sky. Soon it was just a point of light among the stars, and then it was gone. John looked down at the silver device in his hand, then at Max sitting patiently beside him. "Come on, boy," he said. "We have work to do." As they walked back to the truck, John thought about everything the aliens had seen on Earth, the damage humans had caused, and their efforts to repair it. The Zoraxians had given humanity 50 years to prove themselves worthy of joining the galactic community. It would be the most important 50 years in human history, and John was determined to make them count.